ये हमने 71 की वॉर में कौन सा पाकिस्तान का एरिया है जिस पर हमने कारपेट बॉम्बिंग की थी?
बहुत किया सर। अब हिंदी में बोलना तब पाकिस्तान को बत्ती बंद किया।
ओह, नमस्कार, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ चैनल पर हमारी एक सीरीज जिसका नाम है युद्ध महाभीषण होगा। आप सबके सहयोग के हम आभारी हैं। जिस तरह आपने उस सीरीज को समर्थन दिया है, सहयोग दिया है, उसी प्रकार हमारी दूसरी सीरीज डायलॉग विद वेटरन्स जिसमें हम तीनों सेनाओं के उन सेना नायकों से बातें कर रहे हैं जिन्होंने एक मुकाम हासिल किया, और उन्हीं से हम सीखेंगे, जानेंगे कि देश और समाज के लिए हमें क्या क्या करना चाहिए। हमारी तीसरी सीरीज बातें जनगण मन से। इस सीरीज का पहला एपिसोड पहले शनिवार यानी 7 जनवरी 2023 से शुरू होने जा रहा है। आपके समर्थन की पूरी उम्मीद रखते हैं और मैं आशा करता हूं कि आपका आशीर्वाद बना रहेगा। हर रह गुजर पे शम्मा जलाना है मेरा काम, तेवर है क्या हवा के ये मैं जानता नहीं। IAF इंडियन एयरफोर्स नाम सुनते ही हमें ऐसा लगता है कि सिर्फ एयरफोर्स में फाइटर पायलट ही होते हैं। जनाब, एयरफोर्स में ट्रांसपोर्ट एयरक्राफ्ट भी होते हैं जो एक बहुत अहम रोल अदा करते हैं। जानेंगे बहुत सी बातें और जानेंगे आज के एपिसोड में 1971 की वॉर के किस्से भी। आज हमारे साथ हमारे स्टूडियो में मौजूद हैं विंग कमांडर चंद्रशेखर।
आज भारत की बात सुनाता हूं के मन से मैं विंग कमांडर चंद्रशेखर का अभिवादन करता हूं। दिस शोज द proficiency of Indian pilots and crew about handling the different contingencies. तो during your flying career कुछ ऐसी इंटरेस्टिंग इमरजेंसी हुई होंगी जिसको आपने बड़ी tactfully हैंडल किया होगा। Please tell us about that.
Sir, in a flying career, problems are inherent in that. Sometime or other, somewhere or other, so you definitely experience some emergency in the aircraft, especially when you have been flying for 2 decades, etc. Same way, I also had an emergency when I left Leh in a passenger sortie. So, after we take off and we reached around 8 kilometers, settled in the cruising and turned left, coming towards Chandigarh via the reporting points, and suddenly we heard a big dudum in the cockpit. So everybody was little finding out what has happened, and the ears started making noise. Shh. Immediately we all know that there is a explosive decompression. The aircraft got decompressed because it's a pressurized aircraft. Up to half the aircraft is pressurized where the crew sits up, and the balance of is not pressurized, but that pressurization failed. And that we tried to then close up the thing, couldn't close up. So at that height, with so many passengers at the back, you cannot fly at that height for a long time because the lives are involved. About 40 passengers are also involved. Only to meet an emergency like this, we have taught a route known as low level route, because Himalaya is very high hills. Very high hill. The floor level itself is so high. In fact, I wanted to say something about what a German pilot has written in one of the aviation magazines. When he came to Leh in his aircraft, landed, and we went back. What he has written is, he says, it's ridiculous to think that you take off from an airfield whose elevation is about 10,000 feet, and you climb another 10,000 feet, and still you find hills above you. Only hills का खत्म ही नहीं हो रहा है. So it was ऐसी बात है. So इसके लिए हम क्या वो करते हैं? Immediately we descend into the valley. But there are so many valleys. Maybe number of them are blind valleys. Once you enter the valley and there is no escape route outside, and you cannot come back because there is no radius of space available for the aircraft to turn. You have to crash. So you have to know thoroughly what is your low level route. We are given again and again practice in good weather, in good flying condition, low level route. That low level route flying is something like, if I want to give you an example, in a thick traffic day, you are driving a scooter in Chandni Chowk.
Oh,
I hope this gives you an idea. The aircraft is continuously following the contour because you are inside the valley and there is a wingtip to wingtip, all the hills. So you have to be very careful in following the contours and enter the correct valley. When you are coming in a blind valley like this, there may be Y junction. You should know which one to take. The other one must be a blind valley.
Yes, correct.
So it happens like that, and I had this explosive decompression, so I have to descend into the valley, and by then I was highly experienced air crew in that route, so I was coming out like that. And as I told you earlier also, the weather in Himalayas is unpredictable, untreacherous.
Right.
So in this route valley, we come down to almost 8,000 feet altitude, and we have to cross Rohtang Pass. Because after Rohtang Pass, we enter into the Manali Valley and it's plain.
Yes.
Come to Rupert and Chandigarh, no problem. But Rohtang Pass is something like 12,000 feet. And we are at 8,000 feet. So the short duration we can climb and descend because passengers and crew can manage on that. No problem, but it's a saddle. This side is also high hills, this side is also high hills. You have to go exactly into the center, wingtip to wingtip you have to maintain. And then cross the Rohtang Pass. So I was flying a low level route, coming there, and the last leg where I was turning, and then I have to just about 3 minutes flying to Rohtang Pass. The entire crew hard stopped. There was a huge cloud cover from left to right. So we can't see the hills. We do not know where is the saddle. We do not know where is the hill or hilltop or the saddle. And with the time available is just about 3 minutes. So just about one minute before I realized it, I have to do blind crossing. Okay, and hope like hell that we are at the right height and at the right place and we cross it. So I kept the aircraft right in the center of the valley. I was guiding the pilot left, right, right, maintain. And right in the center of the valley, we were flowing, and 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5 seconds, enter the blind, absolutely blinded, because we are inside the cloud. And we only hope that we are not going into the hill and we are above the saddle. And dar, tuck. We came out, crystal clear weather right up to Chandigarh.
Wow.
So these are all the things
Very interesting.
which is just a part of our life.
Very interesting.
Then the second only thing, one more thing, so far I was telling about the air maintenance, our RTR also. We have to fly all over India doing the route transport support role for Army, Navy, Air Force, everybody. So we fly from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, anything like that. One flight, one day I took off early morning from Chandigarh, Guwahati, had breakfast.
Oh.
Guwahati, Nagpur, Pune, Bangalore, had lunch. Bangalore, Pune, had dinner, and Pune, Chandigarh, came home for sleeping. So across India, twice, from morning 4 o'clock to night 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, I have been flying, but I come back. So this is the kind of flying also we do, but mainly every place in India, every airfield, we have done the RTR only for Defence Forces Support Services. That's what TSR we call it, Transport Support Role. That is what we have done on this.
Wow. Very interesting.
And I also want to say, tell you one more thing, that we have a lot of laurels in flying in our squadron. This air maintenance sortie also. I mentioned you already, at that time the highest operational military airfield was Leh, and one of our squadron pilots, Wing Commander Sadhu Singh Gill, SS Gill we call him, has gone into the Guinness Book of World Records for making 1,261 landing in Leh.
Very good.
He has landed in Leh 1,261 times. That is a high altitude landing in
Record.
Leh airfield, which is gone into the Guinness Book of World Records.
Very interesting. Very
Great,
interesting.
sir, great.
Veterans Chendra Shekhar, these are very interesting aspects of flying in 12 aircraft. I'm also aware that 44th Squadron was tasked into active role during 1979 operations. Please tell us about that.
Okay, sir. You see, every squadron has also got a secondary role, and for 44 squadron, the secondary role given was bombing. So the aircraft was to be used to drop bombs in enemy territory, because this kind of commitment, this kind of operations were never done in transport aircraft so far, at least in India at that time. So when AN-12 was to given that, then the training was started, because beginning of 1971, the war clouds have started appearing in the horizon. So there was talk that Pakistan is going to give us trouble, and we should be prepared for it. Though preparation, we always say, the more. Okay, so once the bombing mission was allotted to 44 Squadron, all the preparations for that started. Then the SOPs have started, and the crew training was started initially at Chandigarh. Then we have to go for actual bombing, because bombing is one thing. Like if you want to learn swimming, you have to enter swimming pool. You can't learn swimming in drawing room. You have to go there. So in the same way, we have to go to range and drop bombs. Then only you will also get practice for dropping bombs accurately, and how to reach the target, low level flying, etc., etc. Because this aircraft is not meant for this particular job. This is a huge aircraft. 4-engine aircraft, such a big aircraft, and it can be attacked by ground fire, it can be attacked by enemy ground fire, as well as aircraft or rockets or missiles, anything. Nobody can miss it. अंधा भी इसको मिस नहीं कर सकता है. ऐसी बड़ा एयरक्राफ्ट है ये. फिर भी हमने बोला था हम तो करेंगे हम नहीं छोड़ेंगे. So we started our training, and then middle of 71, our bombing sorties, actual bombing sorties in the training range, Ahmednagar near Pune, started. But it was unfortunate, in one of the training sorties, our aircraft AN-12 crashed. And all the HODs, head of the department, including our commanding officer, died. Commanding officer, CO, nav leader, engineering leader, signal leader, gunnery leader, plus some scientists and other engineers, everyone perished in that thing. Then of course, you see, Air Force is a circus. Under the big top, show must go on. Show never stops for Air Force. So again, we modified our SOPs, corrected, because we also learned from there whatever has happened. And a new CO, who himself was the flight commander, Wing Commander Vashisht, took over the squadron as the squadron commander of 44th Squadron in 71. And then again the training and everything started, and we became perfect on that. Then what happened, when everything is confirmed that the war is imminent, this squadron was fully prepared. Everybody, because the AN-12 cannot fly very high in enemy territory. It will be a sitting duck. So we have to do absolute low level flying, which we call treetop flying. And daytime you cannot go. You have to fly night. So it will be dark night, low level bombing sortie in enemy territory. You can imagine that. So that's the kind of training sorted on that. And every crew was fully prepared, and we are just waiting what is going to happen. And you know, then the political things, a lot of things happened, and Pakistan felt that they are going to lose East Pakistan, and it is always, the proverb says, the man who's got a weaker point always strikes first. So on 3rd December 1971, Pakistan Air Force bomber aircraft attacked all our northern India airfields, right up to Agra.
Right.
Evening 5:20 it started. So they attacked our airfield, but the damage was hardly any, minimal damage, because we expected that. We had information
We were
that,
prepared for that.
they are going to do that. We were prepared for that. Aircrafts were tucked inside the blast fence properly, and all the areas were secured, and the damage was minimal or negligible. And wherever the damages happened into the runway, immediately it was repaired, because by then our civil engineers have formulated a kind of concrete which solidifies within 2 hours, and the runway becomes operational. Even if a bomb falls inside the runway and a crater is made, it is filled up and then it solidifies and runway becomes operational and aircraft can take off. So that was the kind of thing, and everything was done on that. And night at 23:30, that is 11:30 p.m., our Prime Minister Indira Gandhi came on air and announced Pakistan has attacked us and dragged us into war. Now India is at war with Pakistan. And that was the green signal. The 41st Squadron was raring to go at that time. Okay, so immediately, I think almost the Canberras were also bombers. They were also doing the thing. And I think on the first night itself, about 30 to 40 Canberras went, and our A12 Squadron also was given the target. The target was a place called forest area called Changemange in Pakistan. And we already knew that there is a lot of troop concentration, and that was a reserve place for Pakistan. From there, they were sending troop, men, material to all the other places, and it was a huge area, so the other aircraft cannot go and drop bombs or do any attack, because we need a larger area to cover for destruction. And only A12s can do. So A12s took off in the night, went to Changemange, dropped all their bombs, almost 10 tons of bombs in each aircraft. 30 bombs in each aircraft. 3 aircraft, 6 aircraft. You can imagine the bomb. If we say we have to call it carpet bombing, it was a real carpet bomb which we had dropped over there and gave them a bombs of carpet of bombs.
सर मुझे ये जानना है कि जब जो हमारा कैरियर एयरक्राफ्ट है जिसमें हम लेकर गए, वो इट्स नॉट अ फाइटर,
no, it's a transport.
It's a transport.
It's a transport aircraft. तो उसमें बॉम्बिंग मतलब नॉर्मल जो फाइटर या होता है उसमें तो एक गन लगी हुई है, सब कुछ लगा हुआ है, एक ऑटोमाइजेशन सिस्टम है बम को ड्रॉप करने का, तो इसमें कैसे ड्रॉप किया आपने?
Very good question, sir. Very good question. Then one thing you must understand, Indians are very famous for jugaad. You know that yourself.
मतलब जुगाड़ वो हमारे किसान
we designed bomb cradle.
या वही मैं कह रहा हूँ, हमारा किसान जो है वो खेत में भी जुगाड़ करता है और हमारी एयरफोर्स जो है वो वहाँ भी जुगाड़ करते हैं.
करना ही पड़ता है सर, because these are precious property of Indian government of India.
Right.
So we have to use the maximum utilization of the available resources.
Very true. Very true.
Okay,
Very true.
so जुगाड़ कर एक engineer ने एक bomb cradle designed. And each bomb was kept in the cradle and kept on the conveyor belt.
Okay.
Okay, so that when we go and drop, the procedure remains more or less same.
Dropping it.
Oh, dropping stage, voila.
Yeah,
Right.
but slight change in that. But here it has to be accurate, very accurate, very accurate. This is done. The actual bombing is done by the navigator. He has got. You can show the photograph of the what we call it bomb sight. There is a bomb sight in a tool right inside the nav cabin, right inside the nose. So when it has got a 2 ring, like you say, whenever you fire a rifle or anything, you have crossfire.
Right.
So you keep the target in the cross and fire. In the same way, here there is a 2 ring like this.
Okay.
There is a ring here, there is a ring here. Now these are movable like this and movable like this. It's got the XYZ freedom of movement.
Right.
Then depending on your height, your speed, your bombing angle is set up, calculated and set. and the angle is set on that. And at that time, when we are reaching the TOT, that is the target, time over target, before that, you bring that bomb sight into the central line of the aircraft, which is aligned with the thing, and then keep the sight focused.
Okay.
Right? And then everything is adjusted, and you look through that.
Okay.
So when this ring, and the target in one line,
In one line.
5, 4, 3, 2, you should have started before, you should have anticipated. It's not that you see it and then fire.
Right.
Because you are moving.
Moving.
You're moving in there. So you anticipate all that thing, and you should know that you are exactly going into that target area at that particular angle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now!
Okay.
You press the button, and I tell you, dhar, 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 dhar. The bombs just roll out of the aircraft. And it was really a melody in your ear when you hear the gunner from the back reports, all bombs gone. But in the normal drop, he says all loads gone, let us say. That's okay, your job is done. Then you have to come back to your base only. But here, you are in enemy territory. You still have to find an escape route and come back to India. Your job doesn't stop there. You cannot sit on your laurels.
So you're vulnerable.
So in fact, now it is more dangerous because the enemy has already known you. He knows how many aircraft and where are they and where they are flying back. Because when
ये हमने 71 की वॉर में कौन सा पाकिस्तान का एरिया है जिस पर हमने कारपेट बॉम्बिंग की थी?
बहुत किया सर, अब हिंदी में बोलना था, पाकिस्तान को बत्ती बंद किया।
ओह
बोलिए, इससे ज्यादा क्या बोल सकता हूँ मैं। 2-3 actually I have the actual mission carried out of about 3-4 places, and I will also tell you all the other places also. We have conducted, I think, 46 sorties.
Okay.
So now
Actually 13 days. 3rd to 3rd, 16th was ceasefire. 3rd to 16th, 13 days.
Today, in today's situation, तो within this period, अब नाउ एयरफोर्स जो है हमारा, इंडियन एयरफोर्स एंड आर्मी पूरा जो है वो अब तो बहुत हम उससे आगे equipped हो चुके हैं। आज की अगर हम सिचुएशन देखें तो पाकिस्तान को कारपेट बॉम्बिंग में ही अगर स्पेस दोबारा आपको कुछ चांस मिलता है?
No sir, in the today's environment, this kind of big aircrafts cannot enter enemy territories. It's not possible because the
That's why
air
we
defense
buy-
system is
Both
improved
sides.
so much, and now you are all connected with satellites.
Satellites.
So the pinpoint thing, even if a person is smoking a cigarette, can be monitored.
Monitored.
So an aircraft of 23 meter long, so
We cannot plan this type of
it
sorting.
won't be possible.
That's why we buy the new
But
aircraft
still,
fighter and
to certain extent, it is possible in the sense that you will have to keep below the radar horizon and short distances. Whereas in 71 war, we have gone right up to Sui gas plant. Deep inside Pakistan, we have gone and done the bombing. Okay, I don't know much about it because I myself is a vintage model. Right? I retired almost 20 years ago, and I am not very well versed or conversant with the present day bombing techniques.
These days we are flying multi-role fighter bomber aircraft who are capable of defending themselves as well. Along with that, we send aircraft with a package who can defend our bombing aircraft.
नाउ आज का जो राफेल है अभी जो हम लेकर आए हैं वो तो अब अपने कंट्री से भी उनको वहां तक हम मिसाइल मार सकते हैं।
But they won't be able to carry the load like what we can.
Yes.
They won't be able to deliver the total amount of load like what we can do. There is a difference. You have big lorry and a small tempo. There is a difference in what they can carry.
भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ चैनल पर आज डायलॉग विद वेटरन्स में हम बातें कर रहे हैं विंग कमांडर चंद्रशेखर सर से। आज उनके साथ बातें करते हुए 1971 की वॉर में किस तरह से कारपेट बॉम्बिंग हुई, आज हमने पहली बार इस चीज को जाना। सर अभी जैसे आप बता रहे थे तो बड़ा अच्छा लग रहा था जब आपने बताया कि कारपेट बॉम्बिंग 71 की वॉर का, तो क्या हम कुछ एरिया जैसे हमें कैसे पता चलता था कि भाई किस किस एरिया में हमने बॉम्बिंग किया है, वो कारपेट बॉम्बिंग जिसको हम कहते हैं?
Actually, these things were all done in a thing called war plan. So in the war plan, all the stalwarts and the people decide which are all the areas should be bombed, attacked, and what is the type of attack, mode of attack, and all those things.
Right.
So we only get the order, वहाँ जाकर ये काम कर कर आ जा, बस वो कर कर आ रहेंगे. So I want to tell you some of the targets. Our AN-12 aircraft of 44 Squadron has done 46 sorties, offensive sorties, bombing sorties over Pakistan. And there are plenty of places. Some of the places I just want to mention here: Changai Mangai Forest, Sui gas plant, Div headquarters at Fort Abbas, Sulamenka Bridge, railway yard at Hyderabad, Hajipir Pass, and finally Tangel drop. That you see, first 6 which I said, they were all in West Pakistan, and they were all actually the strategic target, we call it. They may not be military target alone, but for the country, strategic target, because Sui gas plant is their energy source. Okay,
Right.
Then actually one of our aircraft, one of our Air Force aircraft, Canberra, hit Attock oil refinery and set it on blaze, fire. So that oil refinery was burning for 7 days, depriving them of the fuel. And Sui gas plant was attacked by our aircraft, AN-12 aircraft.
Wow.
So these are all the strategic targets which we had destroyed. The only operation which we did in Eastern province was Tangel drop. Actually what happened during these 13 days, at the fag end of the time, the political pressure started coming into Indira Gandhi, and they were telling you announce ceasefire because they knew that Pakistan is going to lose the war, and especially United States did not want his ally and close friend Pakistan to lose it. So they were applying pressure, and we have to catch Dhaka to say that we have captured East Pakistan. That is the rule. The army must enter the capital of the country to say that we have captured the thing. That is the rule. So, but Bangladesh being a marshy land with lot of rivulets and water bodies and not very many roads, and the foot soldier has to walk and go in a truck. How fast he can go? He was not able to reach, and there was a political pressure to stop the war. We can stop the war only after winning the war. We don't want to stop it in between. So finally it was decided the only way is do paradrop right inside or very close to Dhaka, so that the walking distance and the time is cut off and the people can enter Dhaka immediately. So the Tangel, the place called Tangel, which was a record after Second World War, this was the biggest paradrop ever carried out by any air force in the world. 56 aircraft, AN-12s, packets, caribous, and even some light aircraft like Dakotas, and they say 1 or 2 otter aircraft also took part in that. And all of them carried almost 760 troops.
Okay.
Very close to Dhaka, who have almost entered Dhaka and seized the Dhaka. And a very interesting thing, how the ceasefire finally took place, because we were telling the East Pakistan surrender, because we had air supremacy. Air supremacy means they don't have any aircraft to hit any aircraft over East Pakistan. The entire sky was ours. You can play anything over there, not to worry at all. But the governor was refusing to surrender.
Okay.
He was holding on to Dhaka and he said, "आप अंदर नहीं आ सकते हो जब तक मैं हूँ इधर." So there we didn't know how to make them surrender. They have to surrender one day or other, but time was very precious. We have to make them do. Then what happened on 13th? We came to know that there is a cabinet meeting taking place in the circuit house of Dhaka. Right? Then they said we will attack the circuit house. Then 2 MiG aircraft from Guwahati, flown by Wing Commander B.K. Bishnoi, whom I am very proud to say he is my neighbor right now. He is still here. And another 2 aircraft, Hunter aircraft from Hashimara, were given the task to go and hit the circuit house. Fine. But the problem was, nobody knew where is the circuit house.
Oh.
It was in Dhaka and it was not marked in our area anywhere. Then what happened? One of the persons pulled out a tourist map of East Pakistan, in which the circuit house was marked. So So that is how they located the circuit house, and the planning was done. 12 o'clock was the meeting to start with. Right? They have to leave, it is only 15 minutes flying time. They have to leave. 11:30 they started the engine. They were taxiing out. When they got the intelligence message, the venue is changed to Raj Bhavan, Governor Palace.
Okay.
Now where to find the Governor Palace, and the aircraft is already on the, going to enter the runway. So the pilots were told the target is changed to Raj Bhavan. So the pilot says, where is Raj Bhavan? They say, go and find out. They just said, go and find out. So Wing Commander Bishnoi with his MiG took off, went to, normally they fly very low level, and over Dhaka they have to pull up to see the area much better. And they located the Raj Bhavan. And the time was exactly 12 o'clock. Right? Then both the aircraft lined up on Raj Bhavan, and leaving the center portion, which was the conference hall. This MiG fired the rocket in this hall, and this MiG fired the rocket on this hall, with the entire cabinet of East Pakistan inside, including the governor and the General Niazi. And they peeled off, and the hunters came. They fired, and the whole building was shaken, and rubbles were falling. And rumor says that inside the governor was shaken up so much, he ran and sat under a table and shouted, "Bring the surrender instrument, I am signing it here." And he signed the surrender instrument sitting under the table. This is what we heard, we do not know how far it's true. But imagine the precision attack which has shaken up them, and this was the deciding factor for the surrender over there. And I'm very happy
सर मैं बहुत एक्साइटेड हूँ इस सवाल से, इस आपकी चीज से, कि अभी तक 71 की वॉर में जो हम सरेंडर देखते हैं, सरेंडर का जो पिक्चर हम देख रहे थे, जिसमें 90,000 80,000 पाकिस्तानीज ने सरेंडर किया, इट्स वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड जो है, बट उसमें एयरफोर्स का भी इतना बड़ा रोल है, वो पिक्चर में कहीं नहीं है.
सर, whatever it is, Air Force, Navy, or all army, all are fighting together. But the person in the field is army. Fine.
So वो जो sign हो रहा है,
General Arora was actually theatre commander was General Arora. Okay. So they tell us exactly where they need the help, and we just go and do whatever they want us to do.
That's why I'm saying ना सर, मैं first time ये सुन रहा हूँ कि एयरफोर्स ने इतना मेजर उसमें ऑपरेशन किया है और जो हमें मालूम ही नहीं है.
So सर्विसेज में कभी भी हम कोई भी काम अपने नाम के लिए करते
नहीं करते. Agree.
तो basically we are working for a nation and national cause. नाम की कभी इम्पोर्टेंस रहती नहीं है. अच्छा, एक क्वेश्चन यहाँ से मैं पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि आपने आपकी स्क्वाड्रन ने which is transport squadron, not a typical bomber which has a role of his own and quick maneuver to get out of the battle area. कभी आप इतने वाइड एयरक्राफ्ट को कभी मुश्किल आई, कोई इमरजेंसी आई कि एनिमी गन फायर और एनिमी एयरक्राफ्ट चेज इट आउट, कभी ऐसी मुश्किल आई कभी?
Sir, most of the times we do our planning so well, and we also get some report, but we are so fast and swift, the report becomes outdated by the time we reach that place. So we make our planning accordingly, route accordingly, taking into consideration so many things. But all said and done, sometimes or somewhere it does happen. So after the surrender certification was given, then a ceasefire was announced in the eastern sector on 16th. But in western sector it was not announced due to some planning. And then they finally said we got a commitment, 44th Squadron got a commitment to go and bomb Skardu airfield, the only airfield in POK, which was a strategic airfield for them. But to Canberra Squadron were also given, but we have the maximum experience of flying in Himalayas through the valleys, and we know the area at the back of our hand. So one AN-12 was given the task to lead 3 Canberra bombers and go and bomb, and this aircraft also carried the load, and we took off and went to Skardu airfield. Daytime attack, it's a daring attack. We went during daytime and went to Skardu by flying over Himalayas, valleys and everything, with 3 Canberras following us. And then we went and bombed and destroyed Skardu airfield thoroughly. and it was really very good on the part of the engineers. They developed some kind of a jelly which sticks to runway and it cannot be removed easily. So that jelly was filled into the canister and fitted into the aircraft with iron plates, hexagonal plates with spikes. So these aircraft went and actually we can say carpeted the entire runway with this chemical jelly with iron spikes and iron plates. That runway and this jelly froze and then stuck to the runway and they could not remove it thereafter. And we were told that even after 10 years, that Skardu runway was still like that and they could not repair it. This is a real feather in the cap, and this happened on 17th, one day later. And after Skardu bombing has completed, the aircraft were coming back, and when they reported, we crossed Pakistan, entering into India, Prime Minister announced ceasefire on Western sector. That was exactly, they were waiting for Skardu runway to be destroyed, and the AN-12 and Canberra aircraft destroyed Skardu runway. They entered, completing the mission, and ceasefire was announced. That was really something. Now I just wanted to say something in the closing. In the 14-day war, IAF flew a total of 11,549 sorties, out of which 6,604 sorties were actual combat sorties. Okay, and the balance were airlift sorties. And we also lost 56 aircraft, but mainly on ground strafing. The aircraft were parked and they strafing by the enemy aircraft. We lost aircraft in combat, but the AN-12 we never lost any aircraft, touch wood, and by God's grace, all aircraft, all crew came back safely and healthy and again ready to fly in the squadron very much. Then in comparison, I want to compare what Pakistan Air Force did. They went on defensive. They did not come on offensive because after seeing the way we were punching them, they were scared. So they flew only 3,027 sorties and they lost 55 aircraft. We lost 56 aircraft of 10,000 sorties and they lost 55 aircraft for 3,000 sorties. And 44 in the west and 11 in the east side. Besides 6 more as claimed by Pakistan, but it is not confirmed. Apart from this, 12 aircraft in East Pakistan were also decommissioned. And our attrition rate was something like, the Pakistan Air Force was 3.2%, which was very high. And for Indian Air Force, it was something like 0.8. So that was the thing. Actually, in this, we won the war because of innovation and flexibility. This contributed very vastly to the IAF's success. Modification of AN-12 aircraft and making it as a deep penetration bomber aircraft was a master stroke by Indian Air Force, which was one of the major contributing factors for the success in this 1971 war. And also, I want to say, this 1971 war was a clear example how all the 3 services should work together, hand in hand, and the coordination and the cooperation among the services and the common planning and execution is a true road to success which nobody can deny. And that's what we have followed, and we have proved that we are absolutely together, all the 3 services fought for the country hand in hand and aimed for success in the war. Finally, I wish to say that apart from the fact that the services are ready for punch, we go, attack, destroy and come. But a war is not won or over only on this. There has to be diplomatic channel simultaneously working during the wartime, because a country in a situation like this, there will be a lot of pressure from diplomatic channel to stop one country or the other country, and that is where our diplomats come into the picture. They should play their cards very well. They should hold their trump card close to chest or whatever it is, whatever tactics they follow. They should also play equally good game like the Indian Air Force. With this,
71 की वॉर के बाद
हाँ जी,
क्या महसूस कर रहे थे कि भाई अब हम क्या कर चुके हैं, कैसा लग रहा था?
सर हम लोगों ऐसी फील कर रहे थे, हम किस काम के लिए एयरफोर्स में आए और जो faith whole country is kept on our shoulder, we have fulfilled that, and we worked in the way the Air Force is expected to function, and we have delivered what the country wanted us to deliver. And I'm very happy to tell you, sir, our 44th Squadron is the only squadron, transport squadron, which has been awarded battle honor by President of India for the exceedingly good work done during the 71 war. And also, sir, the work was also recognized by the entire country. Our squadron commander, our squadron was awarded Mahavir Chakra.
Oh.
1, Veer Chakra, 2, Yudh Seva Medal, 1, Vayu Sena Medal, 30, and Visish Seva Medal, 3, and mention in dispatch, 55, CAS Commendation, 25, and AOCNC Commendation, 51.
Very good. Very good.
So this is one of the
Very impressive.
highly decorated transport squadrons of Indian Air Force. I finished the role of 44th Squadron AN-12 bomber operations in 1971 war. Jai Hind.
Very good, sir.
थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू सो मच सर। बहुत अच्छा लगा आपने हमारे चैनल भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ पर डायलॉग विद वेटरन्स का एक और फायदा दे दिया।
Hari
So
Thank you so much for coming here and joining us on भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ चैनल पे। Thank you.
डायलॉग विद वेटरन्स में आज की कड़ी को यहीं समाप्त करते हुए मैं आप सब से विदाई लूँगा और जाते जाते फिर एक आग्रह कि वीडियो को शेयर ज़रूर करें क्योंकि शेयर करने से खुशियाँ बढ़ती हैं। चैनल पर और वीडियो पर आपके कमेंट्स हमारा उत्साहवर्धन करते हैं। चैनल को चलाने में और वीडियोस बनाने में समय और धन का खर्च होता है। आपके सहयोग के हम आभारी हैं। डायलॉग विद वेटरन्स में आपके कमेंट्स हमें ये बताते हैं कि आप वेटरन्स को सुनना और देखना बहुत पसंद कर रहे हैं। इस सहयोग के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू सो मच। जय हिंद।